Hey guys, I'm Amy. Welcome to our new series called The Fruit of the Spirit. We are so glad that you're joining us this week. In this series, we are learning all about how we can grow in the fruit of the Spirit as we grow in our relationship with Jesus. To help us better understand this, we are going to sing a song all about the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Let's sing it together.
Neighbor looks sad, tired, or confused. When a friend is mad or said something rude, God gave us some seeds that can grow into fruit. A life full of love, grace, and truth. I got love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. God's love shown to all the world. When my neighbor looks sad, tired, or confused, when a friend is mad or said something rude, God gave us some seeds that can grow into fruit. A life full of love, grace, and truth. I got love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. God's love shown to all the world. I got love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. God's love shown to all the world. I got the fruit of the Spirit. Yeah, the fruit of the Spirit. I got the fruit of the Spirit. Yeah, yeah. I got love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. God's love shown to all the world. I got love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. God's love shown to all the world. God's love shown to all the world.
That was a great song. The worship song teaches us about how we can use the fruit of the Spirit to show others God's love. These qualities develop in us when we have a relationship with Jesus. As we grow closer to Him, the fruit will grow inside of us so that we can show others what God's love looks like. Now we're going to watch our Bible story where we will learn all about a person in the Bible who lived out one of the fruits of the Spirit. Let's check it out.
Slapstick Theater. Paul and Felix. This is Paul.
Oh, hey.
Who told people about Jesus in lots of different places. Many of the Jews did not like what Paul was doing, so they made a plot to kill him. Since Paul was a Roman citizen, he was taken in by the Romans, so they could find out what the Jews had against him. Paul was sent to Felix, the governor at Caesarea. The Jews brought their case before Felix. They said that Paul was a troublemaker and was stirring up riots among the Jews all over the world. Then Paul got his chance to speak. He said that he was not stirring up trouble at all, and that these men couldn't prove the things they said of him. Paul said that he believed everything in the Jewish law, for he was a Jew himself and a follower of Jesus. Then Felix concluded the council and pushed it off until someone else could decide the case. He ordered Paul to be put in prison, but his friends could still visit him and take care of him. A few days later, Felix and his wife, who was a Jew, sent for Paul. Paul told them all about his faith in Jesus and the truth of what Jesus said. Felix became afraid and sent Paul away.
Go away!
For the next 2 years, Felix would call Paul before him and talk with him often. Felix hoped that Paul would bribe him, but that did not happen. After 2 years of this, Felix was replaced by a new leader. Felix wanted to gain favor with the Jews, so he left Paul in prison. Paul would go on to have many more trials, but through it all, he continued to speak the truth of Jesus.
What a great Bible story. This Bible story helps us see an example of how we can have the fruit of the Spirit. Remember, each of those qualities grow in us so that others can see what God's love looks like. Now we're going to watch a short video about that same fruit of the Spirit and what it could look like in our world today. Let's watch and see what happens. Wow, that was a great way to show God's love to others. We have seen a couple examples of what it looks like, but what does it all mean? Let's unpack this week's fruit of the Spirit to better understand what it means to live it out. Check this out.
I love to wait. Don't you? Okay, maybe not. The truth is, no one likes to wait for something they're excited about. Waiting is hard. And that's where patience comes in. What is patience? Well, I'm glad you asked. We learn in the Bible that patience is waiting with a good attitude. Let's face it, waiting is part of life. Like waiting for something to load on your computer, or waiting for your chance to shine in the big game, or waiting for good news about a sick loved one. No one likes to wait, but God wants us to handle the waiting the best way possible. He wants us to have a good attitude while we're waiting, because this makes us more ready and able to do the things that please the Lord. In our Bible story, we learn that Paul had to wait over 2 years for a verdict after being arrested for something he didn't even do. Can you imagine how hard this must have been? Waiting all that time, not knowing what was going to happen. Paul probably didn't understand why these things were happening to him. But he still had integrity and a good attitude during the time he was waiting. This helped him fulfill the things God wanted from him. A lot of times in life, we don't understand why we have to wait for something. Still, it is important during these times to trust God. Trust that He is in control and He will make things work out the best way possible based on His timing. The best part is that God helps us with these tough situations. If you sincerely ask Him to help you, He will. Having patience means waiting with a good attitude. We can do this because all things are possible with our God.
I don't know about you, but I feel like I understand it so much better now that we have unpacked this week's fruit of the Spirit. Remember, the more you grow in your relationship with Jesus, the easier it is to live out love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.